Let's go to the Motor City right now and talk to MASNsports.com's own Roch Kubatko. How are you, Roch?
I'm good.
Now, that time of the year where the rosters are expanded. 37 of the possible 40 are with the big league club. Any surprises or omissions to the expansion of the roster?
I don't think there are any surprises. There's 37 of the 40, and we pretty much knew the three who weren't going to be here. Like Eli said, Cedric Mullins, for example, wasn't going to be called up, even though he did have a great finish with Bowie. Kind of let him go out on a high note where he hit .364 in the Eastern League playoffs, had a couple home runs, had that 5-hit game with hitting for the cycle, hit much better in August for Bowie. His average was like .284. He had a .364 on base percentage. But, you know, he really struggled since spring training to hit. On my cheat sheet, he was 8 for 53 in spring training. He was 6 for 64 with the Orioles. He had .205 at Norfolk. And they've had to be demoted to Bowie, and really took him a while to get going. And even though they're really happy with how he finished, and he's still a piece, as they say, moving forward in this rebuild, they want him to work on some mechanical things at the plate. And again, let him go out on this high note, how well he played in those playoffs and in August. So we didn't think he was going to be here, and he isn't. They have plenty of outfielders they want to look at anyway, including Hayes, of course, and Williams, and some other guys. And reliever Cody Carroll only pitched twice this year, and those were 2 rehab games in the Gulf Coast League. He had that injury in his lower back, a disc injury that needed a surgical procedure. He's fine now, but there's no way you're going to toss him into major league competition. Of course, you have Luis Ortiz, who pitched once after July 2nd. That also is in the Gulf Coast League. He was shut down then. He had some sort of an arm issue. I haven't been told specifically, elbow, shoulder. It was something. It's not career threatening. But again, not a guy that you're not going to suddenly bring up and have him face major league pitching when he was hurt for that kind of a stretch and has been idle for so long. So we pretty much figured those 3 guys wouldn't make it. Otherwise, it's a free-for-all here.
Now, the Orioles have 2 more games left in Detroit, including today. They used 10 pitchers last night. Toronto is next. Do the next 2 games help determine how this rotation stacks up for the next series?
Yeah, well, right now, the Tuesday starters, TBA or TBD, if you have a preference. I don't know which, but it's going to be Chandler Shepherd. I've heard this from multiple people, so I'm going to go with Chandler Shepherd as Tuesday starter against the Blue Jays. That'll be his first major league start after 2 relief appearances. You know, his numbers at Norfolk were terrible until they weren't. In August, he was the International League Player of the Month with his 1.62 ERA. And in relief, 3 runs in 7 innings with the Orioles. Again, a lot of idle time for him, but they're going to give him that opportunity. I know he's going to be excited about it because these are auditions, and this gives him an opportunity to show something. If he's really good, maybe even gets another start before the season ends. They've already used 16 starters, Rob. If you could name them real quick, never mind. We don't have enough time in this segment, but there have been 16, so he'll be the 17th. That includes Ortiz in one. That includes Sean Gilmartin in one, in case you forgot. Includes Jeffrey Ramirez as well. Nate Carnes, our old friend, had 2. Alex Cobb actually had 3. That's 1 fewer appearance than Stevie Wilkerson has made as a pitcher this year. But Chandler Shepherd will be the 17th pitcher to start for the Orioles this year.
Don't worry, I was going to treat that question like a trigonometry test. Wasn't even going to try it. Jonathan Villar has not sat yet this year. He has not missed a game. I got to think, mid-September, if he stays healthy, there's no reason to sit him now, right?
Right. I mean, Jonathan Villar wants to keep playing, by the way. I mean, he's played in every single game. And it's, you know, important to him. I think it's a source of pride that he go ahead and keep going. But Brandon Hyde's like, you know what? I'm taking this on a day-by-day kind of basis. He's still playing with a lot of energy, so I'm going to keep him in the lineup. But if I suddenly decide, hey, he needs a breather, he needs to rest for a day, because there's only 1 off day left here, that he will sit him, even if it is 161 out of 162. He really is just taking it a day at a time. It's not as important to him necessarily, but we are trending in that direction with, 14 games left. If this guy hasn't been out of the lineup yet, I think you can probably squeeze 14 more games out of him, and then he can have a nice long rest in the offseason. But Villar really does want to play in every single game, and as long as he still has this energy, Brandon Hyde will continue to put him in that lineup.
Well, we'll squeeze 14 more games out of you too, Roch, and you can have a nice long break too. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.